Hey, how's it going? This is Wayne S. Pierce for the American Liberty Radio Network. How are ya? Trying to get things done in the studio is like, pretty much pulling teeth without anesthesia. But anyway, I'm just... It's the 1st of April, and there's the number one day on my list that I don't like is April Fool's Day. There's so many people out there pulling bull crap pranks that they can probably get shot for, okay, because, seriously, you really want to do that. You know what I'm saying? You really want to do that. I don't know, man. So you guys... I don't know. That's kind of like, to me, April Fool's is kind of like Cinco de Mayo because we shouldn't be celebrating Cinco de Mayo here. Well, it was the Mexican independent. No, it was a little town that just kind of had a little conflagration with other people, and pretty much that was all it was. There was no independence whatsoever from Spain. Nothing. It was... So, go to SpencerHughes.net and email him about that one. Okay. He's, of Spanish and Mexican descent. He would know, and he's looked into it. So, SpencerHughes.net. But anyway, I digress. I digress upon this 1st of April 2017 because... tech issues in the studio just seem, when you think you got everything okay, and it's all right, and hey, I get there, yeah, it's all right, and you start to celebrate, you kind of get, it's a premature celebration. Because, I have a laptop that's like, I don't know how many years old, but it is let's put it this way, my laptop says the specs on it show that the processor is really fast. It's like 2.3, it's up there. Got RAM on it. It's fine. But it's slow as freaking molasses. The computer I'm using in this studio is slower than my laptop and works 1,000 times better. Okay, just to give you a heads up. And it's a compact computer. It's the computer I'm using in the studio is an HP. My laptop is a compact, and so I don't know how to completely uninstall and reinstall anything. I don't know anything on how to do that, but I do know someone that does. So this sucker's got to get either fixed or trashed. I think it's over 7 years old, so I don't know. But anyway, lots of things going on, lots of things happening, so I'll just calm myself to a degree. Oh, folks, I don't know. Let me give you a week in review, shall I? Lots of things going on. And it's just... I don't know. I just wanted to take that little silence and get my thoughts collected here before I go on. The Daily Caller is reporting today on the 1st of April 2017, Perez, that would be Tom Perez, the newly elected Democratic National Committee chairman. Trump didn't win the election. That's his quote. Republicans, quote, don't give a about people, unquote. Quote, Donald Trump, you don't stand for our values. Donald Trump, you didn't win the election, unquote. That right there tells me all I need to know about the Democratic National Committee and the Democratic Party. Okay? I've known this since Reagan was in office, that the Democrats are nothing more than little babies kicking their feet when they get angry because they didn't get their way. Oh, yes, and some Republicans are the same way. This is why I'm nonpartisan, because neither one of these parties know what the hell they're doing. They're full of crap. They always have been, they always will be. Political parties in America are the basic, they're lower than low, okay? They're lower than low. The Democratic Party, Democratic National Committee, is nothing more than the Communist Party light. And yes, I said it. What are you going to do about it? Okay. Newly elected Democratic National Committee Chairman Tom Perez campaigned for Democrats in Newark, New Jersey Friday by telling the crowd the Republican Party doesn't give a S about them. Perez, speaking at a rally hosted by the New Jersey Working Families Alliance, first congratulated protesters on showing up in droves in Washington, D.C. on January 21st, the day after President Trump's inauguration. He congratulated them, folks. This is the newly elected Democratic National Committee Chairman Tom Perez. And what's he campaigning for? Perez claimed those people gathered and proclaimed, quote, Donald Trump, you don't stand for our values. Donald Trump, you didn't win the election, unquote. Later in his speech, President Obama's Secretary of Labor added he doesn't, quote, care, unquote, if people take issue with his speech, just like how, quote, Republicans don't give an S about people, unquote. I'm going to put that on the American Liberty Radio podcast. Actually, I'm going to put it on my main page because people really need to see this. But I'm also going to put it on the American Liberty Radio podcast on Facebook. The thing that you have to remember about the Democratic Party, and I've said it before and I'll say it again because it's absolutely 100% and utterly true about the Democratic Party, and that is they are communist. They are absolute communist, period. End of sentence. End of sentence. I don't want to hear it anymore. I don't want to hear anybody's complaint about, well, you just don't know. Yeah, I do know. Okay. I have looked into this since Carter was president, and I've seen I've seen the insanity on both sides of the aisle. Okay? So I don't want to hear you anymore complain to me that I don't know anything. All right? So there's the door. Bye. Have a nice day. Sean Spicer, more and more reports show Obama administration spied on Trump. There you go. Soros-tied networks, foundations joined forces to create Trump Resistance Fund. There you go. There's who's funding the Democratic Party and all of its affiliates and all of its organizations that are against peace, freedom, liberty, and security for the nation of the United States of America. Period. George Soros. Go pick him up. Go arrest him. Go charge him with interference, whatever, crime against humanity, because he as a young teenager, he helped the Nazis take the Jews to the camps. Go look his history up. Trump signs executive orders ramping up trade enforcement. Good, about damn time. The massive spy agency you haven't heard of. Well, that's a teaser if I ever saw one. Let's go read that one. The antimedia.org, 1st of April 2017. The massive agency you haven't heard of, the shadow agency that sees it all. If you're one of the countless Americans who was distraught to learn of the revelations made by former National Security Agency contractor Edward Snowden, the mere idea that there might be another agency out there, perhaps just as powerful and much more intrusive, should give you goosebumps. Foreign Policy reports that the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, or NGA, is an obscure spy agency former President Barack Obama had a hard time wrapping his mind around in 2009. But as the president grew fond of drone warfare, finding a way to launch wars without having to go through Congress for the proper authorization, the NGA also became more relevant. Now, President Donald Trump is expected to further explore the multi-million-dollar surveillance network. Like the Central Intelligence Agency and the National Security Agency, the NGA is an intelligence agency, but it also serves as a combat support institution that functions under the U.S. Department of Defense. With headquarters bigger than the CIA's, and the building cost $1.4 billion to be completed in 2011. In 2016, the NGA bought an extra 99 acres in St. Louis, building an additional structures that cost taxpayers an extra $1.75 billion. Hey, people in St. Louis, go find that place if you would for me and take pictures and video and send it to American Liberty Radio at USA.com, American Liberty Radio at USA.com. The shadow agency that sees it all. I'm just going to leave it right there and put that on American Liberty Radio podcast for all of you to take a look at. Okay? All right? It's... It's one of those things where I had to type something. Somebody sent me a message. It's one of those things where you either accept it or you don't. And if you don't blame me when they come knocking on your door and arrest you for doing whatever it was you did that you think you shouldn't be charged for. Yeah, that's a long way of saying they're going to kick down your door and take you no matter what. I'm just here, folks. I'm letting you know what's going on. Okay? I'm letting you know what's going on. Okay? RT is reporting from yesterday, the 31st of March, 2017, Vault 7, WikiLeaks reveals, quote-unquote, marble tool could mask CIA hacks with Russian, Chinese, and Arabic. The code also contains a deobfuscator. Yeah, that's a hard word, which allows the CIA text obfuscation to be reversed. WikiLeaks' latest batch of documents named Marble details CIA hacking tactics and how they can hamper forensic investigators from attributing viruses, trojans, and hacking attacks to the spy agency. The tool was in use as recently as 2016. The third release, which contains 676 source code files for the agency's secret anti-forensics framework, is part of the CIA's core library of malware, according to a statement from WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks said Marble hides fragments of text that would allow for the author of the malware to be identified, meaning the agency allows another party to be blamed for the hack. The Marble framework document reveals it supports the ability to, quote, add foreign languages, unquote, to malware. Quote, now comes the fun stuff, unquote. It reads listing Chinese, Russian, Korean, Arabic, and Farsi in example code, indicating the potential for the CIA to divert attention to international actors. I'm going to put that up there on American Liberty Radio podcasts. Go check it out, folks, on Facebook, American Liberty Radio Podcast. I'm going to say this. I'm going to put this out here. I know I talked a little bit about it yesterday, but I'm going to talk about it a little bit now. And that is, and I posted it on Facebook. Let me go read that on my personal page because I'm going to dovetail that into what I am about to say. Okay. There are some things that I don't remember putting on my page, but somebody tagged me in somewhere, so that's okay. You ever get that? That's just crazy. I'm looking for it here. Okay. Here's one thing I wanted to talk about. Stop being offended by Facebook posts, by a piece of art, by people displaying affection. You should be offended by war, poverty, injustice, and greed. Sue Fitzmaurice. Spirit Science at ARCHANN, that's ARCHANN.net. That's a meme I have on my personal page. Excuse me. A little phlegmy thing going on there. I put up a lot on my personal page. Sorry for the silence, and had that little, my phone let me know that there was something going on. The one thing I want to say while I'm finding what I wanted to read to you on my personal page, the other thing I wanted to tell you was that there are people who seem to think, and let me just lay it out for you here. They seem to think that everything is just fine. Okay, they seem to think that everything is just fine, and it isn't, folks. Here's what I wanted to read to you. And this was yesterday at 11:35 a.m. Okay, don't know if I was going to put this out here, but no time like the present. People talk to me like I don't know anything. People talk to me like I'm stupid. People talk to me as if I don't get it. People, believe me, I get it. I know more than what I tell you and more than what you can even imagine. You have no idea where I am from, what I have done, who I am, where I was educated, etc. And I'm sure you can say the same about yourself. To criticize me for what you don't know about me or what you don't understand, that is just one of my pet peeves. Stop talking to me as if I don't know a damn thing. You don't know. You don't walk in my shoes, know what I know, been where I've been, learned what I've learned, and I can go on, but I won't. Got questions? Feel free to ask. I'm more than willing to tell you what you want to know. There's more, but national security and lives of people I know are at stake. I'll leave that right there. Now, I talked a little bit about it yesterday, but let me focus my attention on this. People seem to think that, well, I'm going to talk about those that look at me and say, oh, you're one of those, you believe in all those conspiracy theories. In other words, they're discounting and they're disregarding everything going on. In other words, let me just break it right down to the final line. They will not question anything at all, ever. They won't question anything. They'll just look at something and they'll just go about life. They'll just go about doing this, going to work, talking to people, going out for a drink, going out to dinner, whatever. They don't care. They don't care, and since they don't care, they won't question it. And since they won't question it, they won't know. And since they don't know and won't know, they won't understand. And once they get into that framework and that mindset of they don't understand, they're done. They're completely done in terms of and in regards to the fact that anything that happens and any time that someone comes to them and says, hey, did you know that, George Soros funds these organizations that are against Trump and that are doing everything to bring down his administration? When you tell people like what I was describing, when you say something like that to those types of people, they'll look at you and say, oh, I don't believe in those conspiracy theories. When it's right there, it's out in the open. It's right, and I can shove documents from the CFR, from the Trilateral Commission, from the government itself, from other documents from WikiLeaks, from whatever. I can shove it in their face and they'll sit there, they'll throw their hand up in my face and say, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to know it. I want to go about my life. I don't want to know this is out here. That's right at the door of not wanting to understand what's going on. And people don't want to knock on that door. The understanding of of how everything is transpiring and how it affects everybody else is inside that room, and you can understand it from a very simple point of view. But the problem is, nobody wants to knock on that door and go in and find out. I've said it before, I'll say it again, I'm done with those people. They can say whatever they want. I don't really give a rip. They can get up in my face 2 inches away like a drill sergeant and cuss me up one side down the other and make up all kinds of stuff about me. But guess what? I know who I am. I know what I know where I've been, and I know what I've learned. And I know what I understand. And on that note, remember one thing. You don't know it all because you don't want to. That's pinning the tail on the donkey. There you go. You don't want to know. So as far as I'm concerned, you people that just call me conspiracy theorists and all this and tell me that I'm crazier than a loon and whatever, you know what? There's the door. Actually, no. Let me put it to you this way. Not only there's the door and, bye-bye, but there's the border of the country, both on the east and west coast and north and south. Pack your crap and get the hell out and go to a country that is more in line with your political philosophies, because the United States of America ain't it. Okay? It's not it. It's not. No. Well, we're here and we're going to say what we say because... Okay. Hold on. Before you blow a freaking mental gasket, let me point something out to you. Yes, this is America. Yes, this is the United States. Yes, we have a freedom of speech. Yes, everybody's speech, no matter if I agree with it or you disagree with it or whatever, is protected. Great, wonderful, fantastic. I'll give you a high five on that one. But you start making claims, you start making assertions, you start doing anything in that vein of presentation of your particular subject matter, for me, anyway, I don't really care what anybody else says, but for me personally, you're going to have to put your information on the table. You're going to have to, number one, prove yourself right. Number two, put your information on the table. And number three, let's discuss it. Okay? And if you don't think, and if you use that lame excuse of, I don't have to prove anything to anybody. Yeah, you do. You got to prove it to yourself. You have to make sure that the information you have is absolutely 100% accurate. Okay? Well, I got this from a reliable source. Well, who's the source? I can't tell you. Then I'm not going to believe it. I'm not going to believe it. You're going to make assertions and claims against me, and you're going to say, or against anybody else for that matter, and say that they're, conspiracy theorists and all this, and they're wrong. And all, okay. All right. 2 words. Prove it. You can't do it? There's the border. Bye. Go to a country that is more aligned with your political philosophy, because obviously the United States of America and its laws and its concept of peace, freedom, liberty, and security is something you don't want. So you just go ahead and get the hell out of the country and take your Muslim sympathizers with you, because I guarantee you there's tens of millions of people here that will look at people like you and say, there's the door and the border. Bye-bye. Now, why do I have such animosity and such dislike towards people like that? Bingo! Here's my point. Of all of that, here's my point. For many, many years, and I'm sure you fit in this boat, For many years, I've been told that I don't know what I'm talking about, that I need to learn more, that I need to, understand what's going on, or the opposite of that, saying I don't understand what's going on. And you can add a few more things there too. But the reason why I am so frustrated and possibly more angry at those people than I'm letting on is because I was taught that every single thing I read and every single thing I see, I am to ask questions. I am to look into it. I am to investigate it. I am to research it. And that came out of all of my years in my history classes in the subsequent years of high school. Every single thing that I saw, I investigated and researched and opened books and went and all this and all that. In other words, I did my homework. And let me tell you something, folks. I did not get on the internet until about 1997. Somewhere around in there. 96, 97. So I don't want to hear your lame excuse of, well, if it's on the internet, it's got to be true. Okay, you can just shut your damn mouth before you stick your foot in it and look stupid, okay? All right? So anyway, enough of that. I'm done. I keep saying that every time. I'm done talking about those types of people. I'm done talking, I'm finished. 1st of April, 2017, I'm done. Okay. All right. So, gonna go to break. I'll be right back. And since I'm done, I'm gonna come back and get into some news here. All right, because you guys need to know what's going on. Be back in 3 minutes. Don't go away. This is American Liberty Radio Network.
There is to be an unlawful assembly. I order all those assembled to immediately disperse. You must leave the immediate vicinity. If you remain in this immediate vicinity, you will be in violation of the crimes code.
www.livetruthradio.com, the not politically correct radio broadcast. Oh yeah, come on over and join us to stand up, speak out, and get involved. The radio they don't want you to hear. Ha ha ha.
Create your own podcast. Spreaker has it all. Set up your account and get ready to record podcasts or host live radio shows from your computer or mobile device. Spreaker's wide range of tools covers every step of the podcasting process, from simple recording and broadcasting apps to analytics on your audience. You can upload your files or migrate content over using the RSS importer. Host your show today. For more information, go to Spreaker.com. Broadcasting from FEMA Region 8, this is the American Liberty Radio Network, sharing the truth one fact at a time, without all the bullshit. American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.com.
There's a show that's not afraid to ask questions no one else will ask. Not afraid to say
what no one else will say.
Friday nights at 7 p.m. Listen to Restricted Airspace with Tina Marie, where no topic is off limits. Conspiracy theories, paranormal activities, hoaxes, the unexplained. It's what we talk about. Question everything. Trust no one. Restricted Airspace with Tina Marie. Friday at 7 p.m. on the KCOR Digital Radio Network out of Las Vegas, Nevada.
is a circus, a carnival, a traveling troupe of acrobats, storytellers, dancers, singers, jugglers, sideshow freaks, lion tamers, and football players. We're in the boredom-killing business. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, "I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!"
American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.com. Hey, folks, how you doing? This is American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.com, American Liberty Radio on Spreaker.com. How you doing? How you doing, folks? Are you alive and well? I was watching something on Netflix today called End Day, and it gave like 3 or 4 different scenarios about, what could happen. You had viruses, you had meteorites, you had, all of that. You had, you had the CERN, thing, causing black holes, or what's called strangelets in physics, and I know about that. And so I was watching this, and I'm thinking to myself, man, a lot of people have a lot of theories about how the world's going to end. It's like, holy crap, man. I mean, is it going to, is something going to waste this whole world and we're all just going to, be dust? Well, I don't know. I don't think anybody knows. I think most of it's speculation and theory. But, that doesn't stop the elites at the Bilderberg Group to put together the puzzle pieces to make this thing happen, to make the end of civilization happen. Because Bill Gates and other people, Ted Turner, all of these people want 80 to 90% of the population of the planet to be gone. Because as their quote-unquote experts have talked about, this planet can only sustain 500 million people. There are 7.2 billion people on the planet right now as we speak. Okay? So when I look at 2012 with John Cusack and, stuff like that, when I see these documentaries and I hear these scientists, I can tell you about somewhere about 70 to 80% of what they say is theory and speculation. But that doesn't stop the elites from sitting down at their tables and saying, we've got to make this happen. You see what I'm saying? So, a little show note here before I go any further. At some point this week, probably Monday, and I will let you guys know whether or not it's going to happen, but Monday night, I will have a live show, folks. Monday night, I will have a live show. I have no idea how long it's going to go. I don't know, okay? I have no clue. So, I just wanted to let you know that. Live show Monday. I'll give you more details on American Liberty Radio podcasts on Facebook. I will let you know more when the time comes. Now, let me move on. Let me go over here, give you a couple of things to tease you with for the next segment. Report, supposedly impartial, quote-unquote, fact checkers driven by political prejudice. The report underscored the importance of subjective judgments in the process of fact-checking. Well, duh. Accidental gun deaths hit record low amid boom in firearms sales. Gun sales in California are skyrocketing as the state continues to pass draconian gun laws. I'll just leave it right there. You're not capable of writing a clear sentence, unquote. That is a quote. That is a quote. You're not capable of writing a clear sentence. Tucker takes on white genocide professor. Quote, now, that's a sentence with too many adjectives, passive, constructive, construction in imprecise language. It's high school writing. It's crap, Tucker said. Let's go there before... Yeah. Ciccarello, I think is what it is. Ciccarello Mayor, whatever. George, I'm just going to call him George Mayor. Who said last year he wants white genocide for Christmas and the massacre of whites during a Haitian revolution, quote, was a good thing indeed, unquote, told Tucker. He opposes Charles Murray being allowed to speak at American universities because he's racist, and the SPLC labeled him a white nationalist. Tucker countered by questioning Mayer's own credentials, saying he spent time reading many of his writings and found them incoherent. Tucker said, you're not an impressive scholar. That's what I'm saying. You're a performance artist. Your writing is childlike. Tucker asked Mayer to explain, to explain the meaning of the passage he quoted, to which Mayer responded, quote, I've done extensive studies on popular power in Venezuela and the development of what are called communal councils. I know them better than most, and I know what it means to develop these participatory institutions of democracy in Venezuela, unquote. He said he's glad to talk about them, but instead pivoted to accusing Tucker of not understanding basic English. Tucker Carlson is up there. Believe me, he's very, very good at what he does and very knowledgeable. I'm going to put that on American Liberty Radio podcast for all you to look at. I want to say this, and I know that I kind of, try to think of certain words, try to make it sound like, $2 college words, but let me tell you something. I'm a very educated individual. Thank you, Mama. Thank you, Grandma. Thank you, public school. Okay? I know, I'm thanking them, right? But I am a very well-educated individual because of the fact I wanted to be. Now, if you go back and look at my records, which of course I'm not going to tell you how, but if you go and look at my records, hypothetically speaking, you will see my grades are about average. But my scores and my IQ and all of this are way the hell above average. And why didn't I just get A's all through high school and go into a very elite college? Because by the time I graduated high school, I knew what the system was going to do. They were going to take that knowledge, they were going to try to flush that knowledge out of my system to indoctrinate me with their socialist, democratic socialist, Marxist, communist type of education, because if you listen to Charlotte Iserby, that's exactly what it is. And I didn't want that. I wanted to learn on my own. I wanted to take and learn everything I possibly could learn. That's why I went to college for a little bit, but then got out. But that's why I went to the San Joaquin County Library and looked up a lot of stuff I was interested in and that I heard about. So, that's where I'm at. Now, could I speak to you in high English and the Queen's English and make it sound really good like I'm from a prestigious university? Of course I can. Why? Because I've learned from those arrogant, narcissistic communists that that's what you have to do. Now, I've talked to several people growing up in Stockton, California, and let me tell you something. I can see the facade of, of eliteness that they have. This facade of, oh, look how good I am. I go to the country club every week. Oh, look at this. Yes, I've got a business. I'm very successful. When in fact they're in debt and they, a lot of stuff happens behind the scenes that you don't know about. You understand where I'm going with that? You don't? Let me make my point. It is, I know what these people do. I know what these people who call me a conspiracy theorist do. I know what these elitists do. I know how they operate. I know the ins and outs of their organizations. And I can tell you this much, there is not one thing that anybody can tell me that I don't already know. And if I don't know it, all you have to do is ask me. And I will more than happy be able to learn from you if you know something that I may have overlooked. I'm good with that. There you go. Just leave it at that. I'm just going to leave it at that. And I know a lot of people like that. I know a lot of people that think the same way I do or have that same capability of being able to excel above and beyond average, but choose not to because the system chews us up and spits us out. This is why I believe that that all student loans need to be abolished. Right now, today. They need to be completely and utterly abolished because their purpose is to drive you in a perpetual debt. You understand that? That and the job, the career that you want to get into because of your education is not going to be there unless you're going for some sort of healthcare, childcare, tech job or high-tech job or some type of top-tier financial marketing, type of thing. Yeah, you're going to be working at McDonald's. Just the bottom line. That's it. Folks, I know English majors that are working nowhere near the job and career that they went to school for. And they are in so much debt that it's just, it's incredible. It's just, and you probably know a few too as well. Hey folks, let me go into this direction. I want to tell you that there is a place out there, if you guys are independent authors, independent musicians, independent filmmakers, and all of that, there's a place for you. It's called Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz. Yeah. Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz. And Tom Slick is the host of the Morning Brew over there on that network. And he talks about and he plays independent music from all over the world. All sorts of people from all over the world on his show, The Morning Brew. All independent music. There's a lot of other things going on as well, and he gives anecdotes and stories and all this. It's great. It's a great show, The Morning Brew. Go check it out. Mr. Tom Slick hosts the show over at Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz, 926theblitz.rocks. 926theblitz.rocks. Go check him out. Also check out Mr. Nick Tucker at Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker on Facebook. Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker on Facebook. Go check him out. He informed me that he's got some family issues going on. He's working, not working, this kind of thing. He's got a lot of stuff going on, so that's why he doesn't post so much on Facebook. Besides that, he's telling me, and I've verified this, that he's being censored. Okay? I know this, okay? So it's been verified. And so he's got a lot going on. So if you don't, if he doesn't get back to you, right away, that's what it's called life, people. We have other things to do other than post on Facebook. So go check out Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker on Facebook, or you can go to gab.ai. That's G-A-B as in ball, G-A-B, gab.ai, and go check out at Distorted Reality NT, Nick Tucker, N as in Nancy, T as in truck. So and go to gab.ai at Distorted Reality NT, and you will see his post there as well. So anyway, folks, let's get on with some news, shall we? We can do this. Hey, if you need some voiceover work done, folks, I'm for hire. So all you got to do is contact me. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. There you go. Now, I read this headline earlier. I wanted to get into this because we are dealing with a trade deficit that is just astronomical. Trump signs executive orders ramping up trade enforcement. Trump said the two executive orders would, quote, set the stage for a great revival of American manufacturing, unquote. The White House's latest executive order kickoff. The White House's latest executive orders kick off a comprehensive review of U.S. trade deficits and also start the process of implementing a framework to collect all import taxes levied on foreign exporters that break global trade rules. Trump said the two executive orders would, quote, set the stage for a great revival of American manufacturing, unquote. The president, who credited his tough talk on trade for his surprise election victory, said that many cities and towns he visited during the campaign were, quote, devastated by unfair trade policies, probably one of the major reasons I'm here today, trade, unquote. Quote, nobody has ever made bad trade deals like our country has made, unquote, Trump said during remarks in the Oval Office. That's going up on American Liberty Radio podcasts. I don't know, folks. I don't know. I just, we should have been tagging those people long ago so we can make some money on the trade. Soros-tied networks, foundations joined forces to create Trump Resistance Fund. Powerful fund has flown under the radar. This is from 1st of April, 2017. That would be today. 3 liberal donor networks and foundations with ties to billionaire George Soros had joined forces to form a new fund to resist President Donald Trump. The excuse me if I can talk, not enough coffee, the Emergent Fund, there we go, which carries a goal of fighting, quote, immediate threats, unquote, to, quote, immigrants, women, Muslim, and Arab American communities, black people, LGBTQ communities, and all people of color, unquote, was established late last year to quickly fund groups to take direct and immediate action against Republicans. Since the fund's formation, it has received little public attention. It has raised over $500,000 to give to groups opposing Republicans, such as Black Lives Matter Network. The fund has extensive ties to significant liberal networks and groups. Quote, the communities need increased capacity so that they can respond, act nimbly, and develop new strategies in this new period, unquote. The fund's website states, quote, the fund will focus on grassroots organizations in communities of color who are facing injustice based on racial, ethnic, religious, and other forms of discrimination. We will provide resources to defend against what's coming and to develop innovative strategies to transform our country, unquote. Let me break that down in English, folks. First of all, what's going on in the American Liberty Radio podcast. Let me break that down in English. We're going to oppose peace, freedom, liberty, and security for this nation. We want to tear it down, rip it up, burn it down, destroy it, and rebuild it in our communist, socialist, fascist, Marxist, tyrannical type of ideal. That's what that means. That's what that means. They're going to support groups in neighborhoods and in counties and in areas, probably more metropolitan areas, to go in and to rip apart everything that is Republican, that is conservative, that is for peace, freedom, liberty, and security for the nation, that is constitution. They're going to go in and just rip everything apart. This is their goal. I don't really give a rip what you think. As far as, well, you got to give them the benefit of the doubt. There are certain neighborhoods that are crappy. There are certain neighborhoods that just, I get that. I get that. I would prefer my tax dollars go to an inner city school to help them learn instead of going to groups like Soros funds to tear down that neighborhood and to stop the education and stop people from thinking outside of the box. You see what I'm saying? Now, the goal has always been, from the Democratic point of view, from the Democratic Party and National Committee, their goal has always been to take control of the United States of America. Well, what about the Republicans? You didn't let me finish. The Republican goal is to make it look as if they're busy trying to stop the Democrats when in fact they are more than likely stopping policies and legislature from ever passing the president's desk that would ever be able to stop them. In other words, gridlock, folks. They're doing everything they can in anticipation of, certain things happening. In other words, the Republicans are just as guilty as the Democrats. The Republican fascists are just as guilty as the Democratic Marxists. You see what I'm saying? So as far as I am concerned, as far as I can see it, my perspective, my view is pretty simple. We need to support peace, freedom, liberty, and security for this nation. I don't care who's in the freaking White House. I don't care who's in the Oval Office. We need to protect that, organization, that, office as well, because we need somebody leading this country. But unfortunately, here's the other problem with that. It's a catch-22 situation if you think about it, and that is the Act of 1871 pretty much handed this country back over to the British and took control out of the hands of the people in the White House and in Congress. Okay, the Act of 1871. Once you repeal that, you've got a clear shot for all the states to do what they have to do with innovation and technology to rebuild this country into what the American people want. Am I wrong? Have I overlooked something? Doesn't necessarily mean I'm wrong. It just means that I've overlooked something. What did I overlook? What did I overlook? I don't think I've overlooked anything. I think if anything, I've hit everything, every point that I wanted to make. I think everything in what I just said makes sense and is on point. But you may disagree with that. So what did I overlook? What did I overlook? Okay. I don't. Did I overlook something? I don't know. Okay. So, excuse me, holy crap. I want to go here as well. And this is the last subject of the day. Feds defend immigration arrests at courthouses. Courthouses are a safe place for federal agents to make the arrests. Interesting. That's just a headline at Infowars.com under the government section. State Department staffer caught spying for China. Staffer served under Clinton, Bush, and Obama. Holy crap. Let's find out who that was. Jamie White over at Infowars.com, 30th of March 2017. The staffer, Candace Claiborne, is being charged with, quote, obstructing an official proceeding and making false statements to the FBI, both felony offenses, for allegedly concealing numerous contacts she had over a period of years with foreign intelligence agents, unquote, said Justice Department memo. Claiborne is accused of repeatedly contacting 2 Chinese intelligence agents who provided her with gifts and money, including, quote, cash wired to Claiborne's USAA account, an Apple iPhone, and a laptop, Chinese New Year's gifts, meals, international travel, vacations, tuition at a Chinese fashion school, a fully furnished apartment, and a monthly stipend, unquote, the press release said. Claiborne, who worked at the State Department since 1999, reportedly acknowledged that she knew the 2 Chinese intelligence officers were actually spies, but cooperated with them anyway in exchange for tens of thousands of dollars in gifts and benefits over 5 years. Quote, Claiborne used her position and her access to sensitive diplomatic data for personal profit, unquote, Acting Assistant Attorney General Mary B. McCord said Wednesday. Claiborne has worked numerous posts in the State Department since 1999, including embassies and consulates in Iraq, Sudan, and China. She could face a maximum sentence of 25 years in prison. Quote, U.S. government employees will be held accountable for failing to honor the trust placed in them when they take on such sensitive assignments, unquote, U.S. Attorney Channing Phillips said. This isn't the first time a government employee was caught spying for China. In 2016, an FBI employee pled guilty to passing along sensitive data to the Communist Chinese government in exchange for prostitutes and cash. That's going on the American Liberty Radio podcast on Facebook. Crime does not pay, folks. And don't give me this crap, well, it does if you get away with it. They just didn't get away with it. Yeah. Tells me more about your intelligence than it does anything else. So anyway, folks. It's one of those days, folks. One of those days. Hey, hopefully I can get things working again and in this studio so I can have guests on my show. Well, you know, stuff happens. You know what I mean. Talked about it at the beginning of the podcast, so you know. Anywho, I'm out of here, folks. I'm going to go away. I got the rest of the day to deal with stuff and go do some other things. And guess what? Hey, I'm off tomorrow. Okay, I got some things going on, yeah, so I got to take tomorrow off again. But I will be back Monday, hopefully for a live show. Don't know yet. Stay abreast at American Liberty Radio Podcasts on Facebook, and I'll tell you more. Yeah, there you go. Just stay tuned. There's a lot more to come, folks, obviously. So, folks, with all that said, today I want you to remember that you have to really, really, really pay attention to what's going on around you. And please accept, I'm just going to leave it here. Do what you want. If you want to ignore it, that's on you. Okay? That's all I got to say. This is American Liberty Radio Network. American Liberty Radio on Spreaker.com. AmericanLibertyRadio.com is the website. And folks, it's always great to come here and talk to you. This is American Liberty Radio Network, sharing the truth one fact at a time without all the BS.